Hi class, it's Kim Curry here. I am here to get you started on your My Gene project. And the goal for getting started is for you to look for a protein coding gene from one of the four following organisms: yeast, Arabidopsis, which is a type of flowering plant, Drosophila, which is a fruit fly, or from humans itself. Now, what I highly recommend is that you do a little bit of investigating as you go ahead and select a gene of interest. I highly recommend that you choose something that you're interested in. And if you have a connection to it, that's even better. Obviously, that's going to be a huge motivator for your research this semester. So the website I want to take you to is the known as the NCBI website. This is the National Center for Biotechnology Information. It is a great resource of information for all kinds of different things, not only for gene sequences. There's a PubMed location for searching for journal articles. You can get and download entire organism genomes, for example. You can find out transcripts that are translated within a cell, different cell types as well. So that's just the beginning of the types of information you can get from this website. And there are a lot of databases. So when you go to the main NCBI website, you'll see that there's a huge collection of databases available to search if you wish to narrow down your search. And I would like to recommend that you narrow down to either the gene database or the OMIM database. So first off, just jumping here to the gene database here, this is the place where you can enter and search for gene sequences or for topics that you're interested in. You might be able to find it within this gene sequence here and see if there is a genetic component to what you're interested in. And this will include gene sequences from all kinds of organisms. So you're going to have to filter through some of the search results to look for gene sequences from one of the um, four organisms that we've suggested. Now, if you have a connection to a person who has some type of condition and you want to know whether or not there is some genetic component to that, then the OMIM database is a great place to search for the name of that disease or a phenotype of that disease. And you might be wondering, what does OMIM stand for? Well, it stands for the Online Mendelian Inheritance in Man, which I think should be updated to human so that it includes men and women. Nonetheless, that's what it stands for currently. And this is a great place for, like I said, searching for something. It could be phenotype related. So for example, if I search night blindness, see what comes up in this database here. And you can see that there are a whole lot of options. And so I can select one of these options here. Let's say I choose this one. I can read more information about this particular result. So for example, phenotype gene relationships. So it talks about the phenotype here, night blindness, and a gene name, as well as its chromosomal location here. And you can scroll through and find out some details on this, clinical features, find out if this is the condition that you are specifically looking for. But you can also find a whole summary of the research that's been conducted in the past. So for example, this one dates back to 1925, and it probably will include information up to what is known currently. And so you can have a read through this, see if that's your gene of interest. You'll notice though, if you go back to the results from your search, there's a lot of options on here. So for example, if I were to choose this one instead, you'll notice that the type is different and the code number here is different. And indeed, it's connected to a different gene here and also a different chromosomal location. So have a look through, read the descriptions of them, and make sure you're choosing the one that you're most interested in. Now, what if you already have a gene of interest? It could be from a yeast, it could be from the Arabidopsis plant or the Drosophila, or maybe you already know of a gene in humans that you're interested in. Then what you want to do is go to the gene database, back to this database here, the gene selection, and search for that gene. So for me, I'm going to use a transcription factor from yeast called YAP. I am interested in this transcription factor for a variety of reasons. And so I'm going to use this as my example as we go through the semester. So it shows you here that YAP1 is a YES1 associated transcriptional regulator. Indeed, that's what I am looking for. And it also shows you what the genes are named in humans. And so if I scroll down, so this up here is just a brief summary. If I scroll down to the search results here, you're going to have to look carefully at the descriptions and make sure that you're selecting the option from the organism that is on the list. So human, that's a go. But like I said, I'm interested in the yeast version. That's this one, Saccharomyces cerevisiae. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And this is the place that you're going to find some additional information on this gene. And importantly, just so that we hit the parameters that are required for selecting your gene of interest, this is where you're going to go to find out whether or not this is in fact a protein coding gene. So my example here of this YAP1 that I've chosen to continue with is indeed a protein coding gene sequence. And so I know I can proceed with the project this term with that one. So what other information? Well, have a look, check it out, see what you can find out about this gene that you've selected. We're going to gather more and more information as we go through the semester. For now, you only need to choose one that you're interested in that hits those parameters. So go ahead and have a look through. You can scroll and see a graphical image. You can click on it, find out exactly where it's located. You can, in fact, at some point, and we will show you how to do this, get the exact nucleotide sequence, etc. So feel free to explore once you've selected your gene of interest on this page to gather some information. You'll also see here a list of PubMed articles. So these are the journal articles that have a connection to this sequence in the database. So just as a refresher, don't forget, you need to select a protein coding gene from yeast or Arabidopsis or Drosophila or human. And if you have a connection to the topic, that is going to be very helpful. You need to select this before Lab 2, where we're going to begin collecting our information for the project.